What is going on, YouTube? This is Jim back with another video, and today's a little bit of a love letter to Astro headsets. This is not a sponsored video. I wish it was. That would be really, really cool if I got some free stuff from these guys, but this isn't a sponsored video. This is just somebody who is a fan of their product, seeing some of the cool things they announced lately, and I wanted to highlight them. One, because I haven't done a video in a few days, and two, because if you're like me, one of the biggest things you are doing during your own quarantine is playing a crap ton of video games. So I did a video not too long ago. Maybe it was longer than that. I've really lost track of time, honestly, with all this quarantine stuff. I did a video where I took a look at my Astro A40 TRs, and I talked a lot about the build quality, and since then I've done some follow-on videos on some performance and some sound profiles that I think you guys should check out. And I have to say, I have never felt more comfortable wearing a pair of Astros. The competitive edge that this headset has given me on games like Call of Duty Modern Warfare, which thanks to crossplay, Brent, I'm sure you can attest to, games like PUBG, even games that are less tournament based and more just nice ambient sound based, like Sea of Thieves or Days Gone. I've thrown everything and anything at my Astro A40s, and they continue to impress me, and I love them. I think the Mixamp has a lot to do with it. And you're probably thinking to yourself, well, Microsoft Xbox, the Series X, they announced that they're going to be removing the optical port. And after reading a little bit more about this, I was very initially concerned. If you're one of the 40 people that follow me on Twitter, I talked a lot about this. But I said, hey, like, that's a big component of the Astro headset, and what's going to happen? Well, I also use my Astro headset for my computer, and that only uses USB, and I have no issues. And since then, Astro has come out and said, yes, we are aware that Microsoft is getting rid of the optical port on these things. Don't worry, we're going to update our drivers so that you don't need the optical connection to connect this into your future consoles, which is a really, really nice, refreshing thing because these things are not cheap. And I suspect, remains to be seen, if Xbox One Series X dropped the optical port, there's a really good chance that PS5 will as well. So rest assured that these are definitely future-proof. At least in their respective consoles, and they definitely work on computer because I basically carry my Mixamp with me upstairs or downstairs when I'm playing games. So enough of the overarching stuff. I wanted to talk specifically today about a new initiative that Astro has recently launched, and I want to show you guys why it's really, really cool. So let's jump over to some screen capture, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. So in the past, if you wanted to customize your Astro headset, you'd go over to the Astro website, and you would go to the Customize tab here, and they had all these different things. They have special edition tags, mod kits, special speaker tags. You could sometimes, copyright infringement pending, you could upload your own image, and these would give you some pretty cool different looks. The nice thing is the part of the cup that I'm outlining here, this piece can be popped off and replaced. So if you're a really big fan of, let's say, Zelda, you could go ahead and buy the speaker tag so your headphones would have that nice image on the side. Now, the thing was you couldn't really change anything else about these headsets. Kind of makes sense that you wouldn't really be able to replace the headband or the boom mic or anything like that because those were already designed. And these were just nice little cosmetic things to add on. You typically didn't see them when you were wearing them, obviously, but they were just cool swag, and when you're displaying them at your house when you're not using them, I thought they were kind of neat to look at. I almost pulled the trigger on some Halo ones, but I never did. They're a little pricey. These are $40 for just a set of these, and they do, they do come and go, as I mentioned. There's different ones depending on the game and that sort of thing. Anyways, let's go over to what the real video is about. That fake video you were just watching. This is what I wanted to talk about. This is the Astro.id program. Very similar to the Xbox controller store where you can create your own custom Xbox controller. Astro is now finally figuring out that people would be interested in this service. Now, before I get into the details, just to give you a quick price comparison, A set of this is $200 US, so, or not a set. One pair of these is $200. If you went over to Best Buy right now, you could buy the standard A40s with the Mixamp Pro for $250. Okay, so both of these $250 over here. Just the headset alone $200, and then you could always buy the Mixamp Pro a la carte for $100. So this is a $50 upcharge. Keep that in mind. I mention that because this isn't cost savings in any capacity. If you would prefer to just buy a regular pair of headphones, if you wanted to buy these and then buy the $40 clips on this thing, you'd be $10 cheaper than doing this. So just wanted to point that out. What's cool about this site, though, is that it lets you customize the frame, the cushions, the cable, and the microphone, and the tags on the side. So under the frame here, you'll see you can start clicking on different things, and you'll notice that they change. Now, I think this is really, really cool. Mine are just boring black. Most of my technology is black. Sometimes they're gloss, sometimes they're matte. But that's pretty much most of my stuff. My controllers, my charging cables, that sort of thing is just all black. But it would be really cool to have these things pop. I think they're much more vibrant, particularly if you're a streamer and you want to kind of stand out from the crowd. Yes, you could just get the traditional black ones if you wanted to, but you could really mix it up and get some really neat colors here. I'd like to see them add more of everything, by the way. I think this is a really good first start. That said, I think they can go even further. It seems to me that if you can make a quick palette swap on plastics, you could just go crazy. Like, we're not seeing a lot of vibrant yellows. There's definitely not a lot of like purples, greens, that sort of thing. Oh, this is kind of like a lime green. So anyways, you could adjust your frame. Then you can go down to your cushions, and you could change your cushions how you want them to be, which I think is really cool. What I like about some of these cushion designs is it really highlights some of the stitching here on the cup and then on the inside piece. And then you could even do the headband independently of that, which the nice thing is you can rotate this around. You could see the headband changes colors a little bit. You could see some of the stitching here on the bottom right in here. Maybe the white makes it pop a little more. You probably see that a little bit better on your screen. So that's kind of cool. Then you can go down to the cable and the microphone, and you can do the same thing as well. You can change the actual cable of what color you want that to be, and then you can actually change the microphone piece on the inside here. So you could have red or white or whatever. Then they also have some tags that they have already determined for you. You could always go to that store, as I mentioned before, and pick up the ones that you're interested in. Additionally, you can upload your own, assuming that they don't copyright ban it. I have actually drawn, get this, I have actually drawn with my own hand and pencil and paper a design of something, and I submitted it on their site, and it was rejected. So either I'm a shitty drawer, which is possible, or they're just looking for very, very basic, uncopyrighted, or any semblance of copyrighted images. The thing I drew, by the way, was Samus Aran from Metroid, and unfortunately it was rejected, so that's okay. But yeah, they have some colors here that are already kind of predetermined with different, camo, and they call this the Geo. I'm sure they'll add more as time goes on. And then if you don't like any of that, you could just do this randomizer thing, and they'll just randomly pick a set for you to kind of look at, give you some inspiration there. So I think this is cool. I think this is definitely a really good first step for the brand in terms of more customization outside of your traditional basic, customization things that they have. Although I really will say that I think they've done a good job of some of the things, particularly like the closed mod kit, where you can get different, they have different colors here for the different closed bands already. And they do seem to try to, at least the best they can, keep up with some of the later games, at least, to say, oh, I'm really interested in something. Although that said, I feel like, there's a lot of really cool things out there that they haven't done. And maybe this is a good entry point for them, this Astro.io. Maybe this is .id. Maybe this is a really good entry point for them to kind of start looking at that and say, hey, you know what? Like, clearly people are interested in this. It's interesting comparing this to the Xbox Design Lab, where I feel like it was a really cool idea, and then they never really added a lot to it. There was, I think, a lot of cool things they could have done with patterns and some of their own Xbox copyrighted characters, like Gears of War characters or Halo characters or Forza, franchises that they own. But they're still very like closely guarded on that. Now, Astro doesn't have nearly the creative catalog as a company like Microsoft does. That said, I think they could do a lot more with colors. Maybe you could have each ear be a different color if you wanted to. I see that there's a lot more possibilities here. But it's just something neat, and I thought I would do a video on it to kind of highlight it to you guys. I haven't seen a lot of people talk about it. So if you are like me in your home and you really got nothing to do, go ahead and place your order today. It's going to take you a couple weeks to get it, but I think you're really going to be impressed with the quality. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hope you're all doing well and taking care of yourselves. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, I will see you guys on the other side.